Here with reaction, 2016 presidential candidate, Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker is with us. Governor, I'm going to put on the screen. These are the words of praise that the Democratic Party, the DNC, gave for the Black Lives Matter movement. The DNC joins with Americans across the country in affirming Black Lives Matter and the Say Your Name efforts to make visible the pain of our fellow sister and sister Americans as they condemn extrajudicial killings of unarmed African American men, women, and children. They praised them. They said this the next day. They've said other outrageous things. Why is the Democratic Party aligning with this?
I don't get it, but we should speak out whether you're a Republican or Democrat or anywhere in between. Anyone who's involved in police violence, we need to speak out about that once and for all. I'm here in San Antonio, Texas. Earlier today, I spoke out about the cold-blooded assassination of a deputy sheriff in Harris County over outside of Houston. You look at Darren Goforth. He now has a widow and 2 children because all he was doing was pumping gas into his squad car, and someone came up and put 15 shots into him. Why? As the sheriff said, largely they suspect because he was wearing the uniform of law enforcement. That is outrageous. That's not the America I grew up in, and I don't think that's the America we want our children to grow up in. We need to speak out about anything like that, and we need to stand up and protect the men and women who protect us every single day. I'll stand up for the law enforcement officials, the police officers, the sheriff deputies, and the troopers anytime they're under attack.
We have a mutual friend, Governor, and that's Sheriff Clark. He's been on the program often. I know he's a big supporter of yours. You know, in the last year they had one of the lowest annual homicide rates in their city's history, and they recorded 84 murders so far this year, more than double the 41 at this point last year. Do you think this is related to what happened with Michael Brown and Darren Wilson and Freddie Gray in Baltimore? Are cops afraid to do their jobs?
Yeah, I hear that from law enforcement around the country. They're very concerned. The irony is, when you think about it, when you think about the Black Lives Movement out there, who are some of the most victimized by crime in America in our biggest cities? They're African Americans. They're some of the very people that need our help the most from law enforcement. The overwhelming majority of law enforcement in this country are standing up and doing the right thing. They're putting their lives on the line every single day. And yeah, if somebody does something wrong, we should call them out and hold them accountable. That's why I'm proud of my state. I'm the first governor in America who signed a law that said if there's a death of a suspect in police custody, there needs to be an independent investigation. Why? Because it protects not just the public, it protects the police officer, because overwhelmingly they're doing their job, and we want to make sure the public knows that, so we don't see this kind of nonsense where they're targeting police officers, sheriff deputies, or anybody else who wears the uniform and the badge.
What do you say to President Obama? He was so quick to jump in, the Cambridge Police Act that stupidly Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, etc. He's been virtually silent here. And we've got a war against cops. We've got assassinations now of cops filling their cars with gasoline. Why isn't he weighing in on this?
This is yet another example where the President of the United States needs to put politics aside and stand up and do the right thing. Lead in this country. That's what leaders do. I knew that as a county executive. I knew that as a governor, as a chief executive. You got to stand up and lead on behalf of everyone in your jurisdiction, whether they voted for you or not. And now more than ever, America is crying out for leadership from the president to stand up and call out what's going on here. We need to stand up for law enforcement, and we need to make sure that they protect people and are trained right so they continue to protect people in every community across the country.